Good morning, everyone. Good evening and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is Desmos, and you're welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empaths free. If you are new on this channel, I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I talk about spirituality, and I talk about personal and self-development. And if any of that resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us, give us a like, share the video with friends, and you may subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back. And I thank you for your love and support. Upon awakening from abuse, we're talking about narcissistic abuse. I also experienced a quick recovery. Now, this recovery put me in a position of remembering who I am, because at this moment I know who I am, so I don't need anyone to validate me, try to tell me who I am. I already know who I am. And I've gone through a very long journey of healing. I'm still healing eventually, but there's things that I know I've got out of the way. So this healing also put me in position of destroying the narcissist. You guys, you already know what the super empath is capable of. You already know what the super empath is capable of. I am in position of destroying a narcissist. But then you see, the thing is, I look back along my journey, then I was thinking, there's been so many of them. I was not even sometime focusing on the ex-partner and the relationship. So I started looking back, digging back, walking throughout my journey. And then I figured out that there's been so many of them. So if I'd chosen to destroy these individuals, I would have to destroy a lot of them. And believe me, guys, when I tell you that I could destroy these individuals, I could do that with both hands. But the thing is, I chose not to do it. I chose not to do it. There was still that spirit within me that told me, hey, listen, this thing has happened. There was a lesson to be learned. You have come out on the other side. You've healed. You've escaped. You've survived. You are the one that got away and eventually let it go. So I was like, okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to let it go. So I stopped fighting around. I stopped thinking about revenge and trying to destroy these guys. I could do that, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, don't get me wrong. I could do that with both hands if I wanted to. But you see, the thing is, I thought about something very important as well. I knew I could destroy the narcissist, yes. But I would be actually destroying the vessel. I would be actually attacking the vessel. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, very closely. I knew that whatever I was going to do, or I wanted to do, or I would do, because I was capable of doing that, I would be dealing with the vessel. But there was something much more extreme behind the vessel that I was supposed to be dealing with. We're talking about the demon. So that's when I realized, I say, okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to let it go. So I'm going to release that energy, get out of that energy and start focusing and working on myself. You see, when we come to this abuse, when we come to this matter and the issue of abuse, a lot of people get it twisted. So many people think that, the narcissist do this and the narcissist did that. A lot of people, they're pointing fingers at the narcissist. I understand, ladies and gentlemen, I was the first one. I was there before you. So I was thinking the same way like you do. And now we're talking about the survivors of abuse. So a lot of people think that, it's the narcissist. Why did they do this? The narcissist do that and the narcissist do this. I was not concerned about that. People, when people were complaining about the narcissist, I was not worried about the narcissist. The narcissist was out of the way because, guys, I've told you, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you come to that realization of what you're dealing with and you understand this whole thing is demonic, you register that in your mind. You figure it out and you register that in your mind. believe me, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to start healing. Do you know the real reason why people are taking long periods of time to heal? That is because a lot of people are still believing in their mind that they're dealing with a personality disorder. There is so many people online, guys, you can go everywhere. There is so many people around the world. They are thinking that they are dealing with a personality disorder is the reason as to why a lot of people around the world, they are continuously going through these cycles of abuse, and this cycle doesn't seem to end. One of the things that helped me along my journey, number one, was the awakening, because now my eyes were open. And then I figured out that for the longest period of time, I've been dealing with a demon. So all along, I've been involved in spiritual warfare with these demons. For us to understand what is the problem with narcissism, it is very important to understand there's a psychological explanation for that, but there are also the spiritual facts when it comes to narcissistic abuse. The ones who have awakened from it, we already know, we have already confirmed what we've been dealing with. And one of the most shocking things also to realize is that a lot of people around the world, including the narcissists themselves, they do not know what is behind them. A lot of narcissists around the world, they have been fed uh, with this picture, with this illusion that, oh, you know what? So a lot of them who are like into therapy and whatever it is. So I'm really happy about this, because sometimes when they are going to therapy and trying to find a solution to their problems, at least they are getting closer to some kind of healing. It may not be a full-blown healing, but at least they are getting some closure to some kind of a healing. So at least in one way or the other, it is helping them in one way or the other, in one way, shape, or form. But there is so many of them, these individuals around the world, they do not know, they have no idea what they're dealing with. If these people knew what they were dealing with, they would now know where to go for help. Let me repeat this. If the narcissists knew what exactly they were dealing with, they would already know where to go and seek help. Because you see, the thing is, in my entire experience with the narcissist, there's some few things I saw as well. I was dealing with an individual, and I saw the abuse in every color, in every shape, in every form. Sometimes you wake up on a very good day. You guys have a very nice day. Everybody's happy. Maybe sometimes you want to watch a movie, or you want to have a nice dinner, or you want to cook something nice for the kids. In the middle of nowhere, out of the blue, you do not even know where the whole thing starts. You, out of the blue, starts fighting. These individuals bring up a subject, and you guys are going to start fighting. You are going to fight. You will sweat trying to explain and trying to defend yourself. So they would bring up an incident which happened so many years ago. That, oh, you know what, last year, so many years, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like this happened. What was that all about? Then you guys start from that. You will start explaining, you will start fighting, you start arguing, you will start going in circles. And at the end of the argument, you're realizing that actually, you're thinking in your mind, why have we been fighting in the first place? What was this whole thing all about? Because you're trying to find the reason as to why you guys have been arguing and fighting. You do not understand why you guys have been fighting. What was even the most shocking thing? Only for you to turn around in the next couple of hours, or for example, the next day. If that fight had been happening in the night, the next day, the narcissist does not have a clue. They don't even want to talk about it. They're not going to come around and tell you, oh, you know what, I'm sorry about yesterday, something happened. Or they are not going to explain nothing. They have already forgotten about it. They are going to come back in your face like nothing happened. Because in their mind, they already know that you don't remember what they were saying to you or what they did to you. They have already forgotten about it. They don't even remember what they have said. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. The narcissist does not even remember what they were arguing about and what they told you in the first place. There's no apologies. There's no explanation. The next day, they're ready to start something over again, afresh, everything anew. Like nothing happened. Nothing happened the other night. Ladies and gentlemen, I struggled with the narcissist for a very long period of time. So many times I saw the narcissist struggling. And this is where it gets very emotional. People, for a lot of you guys who have already dealt with these guys, you already know what I'm talking about. This is why it gets emotional, because the narcissist will always struggle to keep themselves in alignment. They will always struggle on every single day, each and every single day. They are struggling to be in alignment with themselves, but they can't. Sometimes you will see the narcissist, they are going to try. The narcissist will try. They will wake up every single day. They will try. You will see them, they are trying to take care of the children. You see them, they are trying to drop the kids to school. You will see them, they are trying to tell you very nice things. And these things, like, they are trying to be the best they can be. But ladies and gentlemen, they can't. The reason why I'm telling you guys, do not hate the narcissist, hate the demon, is because there is something behind these individuals that is in control of their lives. There is something else behind the scenes that is in charge. And this is something you will not hear people talking about. You will not hear it in the media. You will see a lot of these guys shooting their families. A lot of people, they will come around and they shoot their families in one morning. And the media will come around and say, oh, one dangerous guy, this person, they have killed the whole family, or they have shot their dog, or they have done this. They will not mention in the media that they're actually dealing with the narcissist. So they will not actually tell the people what they're dealing with. They only come around and talk about somebody who has destroyed their family, who has killed their wife, who has killed their dog, who has killed their husband. They are not going to talk about the narcissist. The world needs to know what exactly is narcissistic abuse. The world needs to understand what is a narcissist. The only way there's going to be a solution for this entire epidemic is when psychology integrates with spirituality. I'm going to repeat this one more time, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm praying that this message reaches millions of people around the world. The only way there is going to be a solution to narcissism is when psychologists, scientists, the people who think they know who a narcissist is, they integrate this whole knowledge they have with spirituality. That is when we're going to have an end. We're talking about, it may not be easy. It's going to be a tough road to go, but there is going to be a solution and probably an end, God willing, and hopefully, to the narcissism epidemic. A lot of narcissists who are waking up to this abuse, to understanding that they're narcissists, a lot of narcissists around the world who are waking up to their disorder, to their apparently so-called disorder, they're running to the wrong places for help. They are going to sit down and spend very long periods of therapy. They will spend years in therapy. They will be talking about something over and over again, do this and do that, but there's not going to be a solution. There has never been a successful solution to narcissism. The reason why it has always been like this is because the narcissists, the so-called narcissists, and even sometimes the victims of abuse, they are running to the wrong places for help. I've told you guys, the very moment I discovered that these things were spiritual, so this was spiritual warfare, this whole thing was demonic. The moment I came to that understanding and realization that this whole thing was demonic, that is the exact moment my healing started. My healing, my life changed from that moment, the moment I discovered that I had been dealing with demons, not only with the ex, but with all my entire life. A lot of times I have been encountering these narcissists on a daily basis. So most of my videos I do and trying to explain this whole thing about the narcissistic abuse being a demonic possession. Not only am I helping the empaths and the survivors of abuse, I'm also helping the narcissists understand what exactly they're dealing with. I'm helping the narcissists understand what exactly they're dealing with. Because the moment they took that decision to become narcissists, they could have taken a very dark path in life, and we weren't there. So the victims of abuse were not there. We did not help them make those decisions when they were turning out to be narcissists. We did not infect them with that narcissism. That thing came from somewhere, and at some point in time, it became a part of their life. So this is like they signed into the contract, and they did not really know what they were doing at that moment. But now it is at that moment whereby they are realizing that actually this, whatever so-called contract they have signed with the devil, they cannot sign out of it. It is very, very difficult until people wake up and realize they have got to know where to find help. When people realize that they have got to find help in the spiritual means, tackling this issue and problem in the spiritual means, in the spiritual aspect, they are going to start getting healing. There is going to be a lot of changes, and people are going to heal not only the victims of abuse, but also the narcissists themselves, because now they are going to understand what their problem is on a very spiritual level. So when you're talking about narcissism and narcissistic abuse, sometimes even I'm very reluctant to talk about this, because I think I've been talking about narcissism for over 3 years, I think, as far as I remember. The more I continue on my journey is the more I realize that actually that kind of energy, I've let it go. So sometimes I'm even stepping into other things and trying to do different other things um, to pursue my spiritual journey. So I'm stepping into different subjects and different issues at the same time. But little and less am I talking about narcissism, because I already know what is going on. So when you're dealing with these individuals, ladies and gentlemen, you have got to know if a person who has been in abuse, you have been abused by the narcissist, you have got to know, ladies and gentlemen, do not hate the narcissist. Do not hate the narcissist. Just hate the demon. That's it. That's all you're dealing with. It is what is going to help you to embark on a full-blown healing recovery process. The moment you come to that conclusion and realization of what you've been dealing with all along. Ladies and gentlemen, I have seen a narcissist struggle. Not only one, I've seen many of them along my journey. They have been struggling. The narcissist is on a daily battle for survival. I'll repeat this. The narcissist is battling every single day to survive. They are thinking about which words are they going to use. They are thinking about who are they going to lie to. They are thinking about who are they going to abuse the following day. They are thinking about what are they going to do each and every single day. They have got to plan something in advance, because that is how they live. They can never wake up every morning like anybody else does, and they believe that they're going to have a normal day. They can't do that. It doesn't matter whether they are parents. They are thinking about a lie. How am I going to lie to so and so? How am I going to lie so and so? I've been personally lied to by the narcissistic parents. Continuously, over and over again, brainwashed. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been the black sheep in my family. I've heard those lies ever since I was a kid. Even at some point, I've been made to believe that I was stupid. I've been hearing so many things along my journey. Oh, you stupid, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. I almost believed that I would never amount to anything, because I've been made to believe and brainwashed as a kid to believe that I was stupid. Only for me to awaken to the fact that actually I had never been stupid for the entire time. This entire time, I had never been stupid, even for one single minute. I exactly knew what I was doing, but it's because I was dealing with people who couldn't handle my presence and my being. The narcissist is on a daily struggle. Every single day. They are waking up every single day. They are battling their demons. Guys, I want you to think about this for a minute. You wake up every single day and you know that you're going to start battling your minutes the moment you open your demons, the moment you open your eyes. I want you to think about this for a minute. How can you live in that kind of cycle whereby you're waking up every single day and you're battling your demons? I mean, we all battle our demons at some point. You know what I mean? But there is some of us who have got that ability to heal. Some of us can heal out of this. We can get out of that energy. We can move on with our lives, even sometimes mostly in a positive way. A narcissist cannot do that. For you to understand what I'm talking about, It is important for you to know that the narcissist was not born a narcissist. There is no woman, there is no parent went to the hospital and they gave birth to a narcissist. It has not happened. It does not matter if that narcissist was the parent. They did not give birth to a narcissistic child. This whole thing was something that was learnt along the way. So it can be unlearned. But you see, the problem is the people we're talking about here, the narcissists, they are dealing and they are confronting this problem with the wrong methods. It is not even anywhere close to being a personality disorder. So it is the easiest way to explain it as being a psychological disorder because this is something what people understand. If you ask the psychologists, these so-called medics, what they really know about narcissism, they're going to explain to you the things they have read in the books. So they're going to explain to you, oh, there's a book I read by so-and-so, and that's what they wrote about narcissism. So because at some point in time, of course, they have been reading and understanding these things about psychology and everything. So there is things that they have learned in the books. But when you want to understand who a narc is, talk to the survivors of abuse. Talk to the survivors of abuse. They will sit down with you. You will get yourself a cup of coffee. They will tell you everything in detail because those are the guys who have seen face to face what these demons are. There is a difference between knowing about it because you've read about it in books or you've read about it from your lecturers and teachers in class, and somebody who has been in that abuse, experience it face to face, full-blown narcissism in the face. They have seen it. Those are the survivors of abuse. Those guys, they will tell you everything. But you see, a lot of times when you're talking about narcissism, the most important thing to understand about the spirituality and the spiritual aspect and side of it has been ignored because people have always been brainwashed and to believe that they've been dealing with a personality disorder. So the spiritual aspect of it has been ignored because people have already been brainwashed for a very long period of time to believe. We're not talking about the narcissists also, the victims themselves. They have been brainwashed to believe that they're dealing, and they've always been dealing with a personality disorder. It has nothing to do with that. So it is my plea, ladies and gentlemen, I do not have the power to influence your decisions you're going to make, but I'm in good position to tell you what exactly you're dealing with. So whatever you're going to decide upon from this point forwards, you're going to have to make very critical decisions because now you'll be able to understand exactly what you've been dealing with. We're not talking about only the narcissists. We're also talking about the victims of abuse. You will know what to do. Do you know how many victims of abuse have been in therapy? They have been going countless times in therapy. Many years ago in therapy, they have been going on and on and on and on. They have been spending huge amounts of money in therapy. And until this moment, they are not healed. Until this moment, they're still struggling to get over this abuse. But you also know that the fastest healers of abuse, the fastest healers, when you're talking about the victims of abuse, they are the ones who have figured out that this whole thing is demonic. Those are the fastest people to heal. They're the fastest to get out of it, number one, and they're the fastest to heal. You know the reason why? Because they know the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, the truth will set us free. If you're a victim, you have been a victim of abuse, you have experienced this thing, you understand what it is your time to speak out. It is time to speak out, ladies and gentlemen, because every time you speak, you're helping another individual out there. Every time you bring out something out of your mouth and you're talking about your truth, you're bringing out the truth to the surface and you're helping a lot of other individuals to heal. But in my opinion, it is time for psychology to integrate the spiritual side of narcissism. That's when we're going to have a solution for both the victims and the narcissists. That is when we are going to at least even get somewhere when it comes to narcissism and narcissistic abuse. That is the only way out. Otherwise, if you go on and on and on in these cycles of personality disorders, mental disorders. We're wasting time, ladies and gentlemen. If we go in circles explaining personality disorders over and over again for the longest of time, we are never ever going to come to a conclusion. It is until we integrate the spiritual side of narcissism with the psychological part of it, because the both of them can work can work as one. That is when the solution is going to be found when it comes to narcissistic abuse, and that is when we are going to see a very big breakthrough when it comes to narcissism. It is going to help a lot of people. It is going to help the victims who are into that abuse, and it's also going to help the narcissists themselves, because now we are going to know how to tackle this thing forever. So for the ones who have been in abuse and you've gotten out, I congratulate you. Of course, guys, I know what it feels like. I know where you've been, ladies and gentlemen. I know all the details. For the ones who are still there, I pray this video reaches you at the right time and you can get your awakening. But for the ones who have got out, I congratulate you. And for the narcissists themselves, I hope this thing makes some kind of sense, and you will know which way to move forward with yourselves. And again, I've told you guys, I'm a person who doesn't hate anybody. I do not hate narcissists. I do not hate whatever, those kind of individuals, whatever. I do not hate them because I already understand what they're dealing with. But when you know what you're dealing with in the spiritual aspect, you are also going to learn how to protect yourself. So I know my limits. When I meet them, and these are guys you can always meet everywhere. They are everywhere. You can meet them each and every single day, in everywhere that you go. You are continuously going to meet these individuals. But as a person who knows how to protect yourself, you already have your boundaries, and you already know what to do or what to say should you come against these individuals. But again, it's a plea in this video: do not hate the vessels, ladies and gentlemen. Do not hate the narcissist. Just hate the demon, because this whole thing is spiritual warfare, and this whole thing is demonic. So let me know what you think about this video, guys, in the comment section below. You always know that I love and appreciate your support. You can book a session with me if you want to. Denzomos, all the links you need are in the description section below. For the ones who want to donate or support to my channel, everything you need, you will find it in the description section below. And until then, a big blessing to have you guys on board. I'll catch you guys in my next one. Love and blessings. Denzomos signing out. Peace.